Okay. We're live.
All right.
Are you coming?
Yeah, go. Start talking.
No one's here yet, so it's fine.
Well, the replay, you got to talk. Start talking.
I don't know what to say.
You say something. Say hi.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Thanks for joining us on the replay.
Oh,
This ain't your first rodeo.
yeah, but I don't do the intro.
Don't matter.
Caleb is...
I'm trying to make you a better broadcaster. That's what Caleb is doing.
Good morning. Hey, everyone. Don't worry. Caleb's here to save the show. Bennett
Yes,
Landscaping
go ahead,
Services is here. You gotta go the other side.
Oh. Okay. We got to flip
hello,
on the on-air
everyone.
light, Britt. That's important.
Oh, yeah.
Critical. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the
Ben
show. Thanks for
Bobcat
coming
Home
in.
says, how's it going? Jeremiah Jennings, that guy.
Hi, Jeremiah. How are you? Oh, man.
We will see you soon.
Folks, we are here. Welcome. Look at the glare on that sign. We got to figure out how to fix that. Boy, lighting. But look at lighting. Lighting is good, finally. I'm very happy with our lighting. If you could only see.
Washington State.
Hello,
That's a long
Washington
ways
State.
away.
You're going to have to read all the comments on that, or I can't
Washington
deal with it. Okay, folks. Hi. Welcome to the show. What is this show? Like a regular.
Oh, Mr. Bo's here.
Mr. Bo's in here. Hey, Bo, I need you to call in some locates on a couple projects. I'll send that over to you later. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bo, they're making it happen on the daily. Thank you, Mr. Bo. Roughneck Podcast, what's up? They were here at the summit, I think.
Leaving Mexico and headed to Michigan. I
Don't
looked
do
at the
that.
weather, and
Yeah,
it
don't
is
do
going to be
that.
like
Just
5
stay.
degrees
Just
there
stay.
tomorrow.
Just stay.
So.
Don't go. Hey, Premium Lawn on YouTube. Hello, Bennett Landscaping. Hi, YouTubers. What's up? We're live on YouTube and Instagram, and this is going to be a every Thursday thing here coming up. We've been awarded some projects, which is cool, small stuff, but things that are going. I'm so happy with the lighting. This is so great. The lighting's so good. I don't have like a shadow underneath my hat brim. Oh, the studio is really getting somewhere, I feel like. Big thanks to Company Cam, by the way. Thanks to Company Cam. Company Cam, a good app if you want to scale your company. Columbiana County, Ohio. What's up? It ain't no Fairfield County, but Columbiana will be all right. It maybe is a close second for beautiful county in Ohio.
But the phone is ringing. And
Phone's ringing, been awarded projects. Remember, folks, it's not peak season. Don't be bidding and pricing out of fear. It's easy to get caught up in that. I sure know, but
up your sales game.
But yeah, be brushing up on your sales stuff. You might have to actually sell. Love the Kid Contractor podcast. Thank you, L&M Quality Lawn Care. Appreciate that a ton. I got my Green Foundry sweater on here.
Itch is going to go to Company. Might be using Company Cam this year.
Interesting.
That
cool. Awesome.
Everyone likes the Green Foundry sweatshirt.
Britt, yeah, this is for when we go yachting. Green Foundry sends us such fancy stuff. I'm like, dude.
We are not fancy people.
Don't you know me at all? I like a good steak, and I know a good steak, and I know a good barbecue, but maybe after that, and good wine. And I can't say I know good whiskey, but I'll try it.
A few things that I've been doing.
Bob, I got to have Bob on to talk about monarch butterflies for the podcast.
For the sake of conversation.
I'm already hot in here.
Turn the fan on.
All right, folks, this is how the OnlyFans page looks.
Yeah.
So we can go down that. I get naked, Britt does. Why we have no subscribers there?
Okay. Anyways, going to try Company Cam again now that it integrates with Jobber. Very cool. Yes, I saw that the owner of Company Cam is speaking at the Jobber Summit, so that should be good. Luke.
Oh, I was like, what's the jet engine in here? It's our fan.
Super quiet fan that we have.
Yeah, which is awesome. Available on the Amazon store. So it's super important to not be pricing projects out of fear this time of year and a scarcity mindset, even though I don't. No, I subscribe to that stuff. I can't say we did an awesome podcast and I'm very happy with it. We didn't think it was impossible. And so like with the shop being an example, we never once thought building this place was impossible. There's some other things that are some trash in our heads right now of things we think are impossible or tough. And one is scaling the company. Not impossible, but it's you know what I mean? Like we never thought building a shop was impossible. It just didn't cross our minds. We're just making it happen. And so the next thing is like, we need to grow the company. We need to add some key employees and get consistently running a couple crews, maybe hiring a salesman designer kind of position. And like, we've got some trash in our heads of like, oh, it's a big risk. It's a chance, and we need to flip our mindset of like, or get rid of that as to where it's like, it's not impossible. We're going to do it. And
which
so like, we got to,
like,
I need to get some water, Britt. You want some
which
water?
is where like goals come into play and the roadmap to get to your goal. Because we used to never write, we wrote our goals down. We wrote like what our intentions were in our business plan. We would sit down around Christmas time every year, and I would write my own business plan and he would write his own business plan. And then we combine the two and just kind of see like where both of our heads were. And that worked out really well for us. And I don't know, we kind of stopped doing that.
The lighting's so good here. So pleased with that.
But we started putting our goals, our family goals, and kind of our company goals, just our life goals, up on the refrigerator, and looking at those every day and reminding ourselves of what we want to do. I think we need to be more intentional or think more about the company, because we do say we want to build out another crew and potentially hire a sales/design person. But I don't know that we've ever wrote the roadmap to that. And I think that's really important that we have like the steps and process. Like, what are we going to hire first? What do we need to buy? You know, do you hire the people before the work comes? Do you get the work before the people come? That whole question that you have all the time. So I think it would benefit us to, you know, the shop was, like you said, was always like, yes, the shop is going to happen. Never a question of how it was going to happen. It was just, that's going to happen. The crew thing, the extra crew and salesperson, we have went back and forth on for a while, a couple years now. And I don't know that we've ever really planned it out. And I think that's something, I think in order to execute on that ambition, we need to sit down and write that roadmap for that. So
100%.
That is what I feel about that. Another thing so stuff that I've been working on these past few weeks, now that we're off, I love working in the office. I was worried about leaving the house, but I love working here. I'm so much more focused here. I feel like I'm accomplishing more. I have like a schedule where I write down things I want to do. So one of the things I listened to Brian Fullerton's podcast a few weeks ago, and he talked about the importance of getting Google reviews. And so I've been following that. I've been emailing clients. I email about 3 a day, just asking for a Google review. And if you go back to his podcast, he kind of tells you like what is important to have in that email and tips and tricks for that. So, I've been doing that. I've also updated our Google My Business page. I have been trying to post to our Facebook page more regularly. So I'm really we're not desperate and we're not putting low prices just to get jobs. What I'm trying to do is just, in an uncertain economy, I am trying to get, what are you doing? Now I can't read it.
I was trying to get, no, there's no way to do it. I was trying to get our company cam banner in the shop, but
totally killing it. Okay.
Sorry.
So what do you have to say?
Please, I was just trying to get in the shot.
I don't know where I was at, so go ahead.
Well, you should be more professional and not lose train of thought and just keep rolling no matter what.
I was reading what people were saying as I was talking, so.
Well, I can't help you can't walk and chew gum. What
have you been doing, honey?
I have been quoting a bunch of work. I have been organizing a lot of stuff that's coming over from the old office to here, which has been interesting to purge. Have a fantastic podcast, I'd say, series coming out, but it's not that organized. But I've been going through a lot of notes of very pertinent notes and seminars and trainings and all sorts of stuff we've gone to. And I got a whole ton of notes to go through for the podcast. So I'm really excited to go through that series. And I'm calling it a series, but and you're right, it's very exciting. So I'm really looking forward to getting that on.
Ditch the Itch in Michigan says scaling is an interesting thing to discuss. You had a conversation with
Levi. Yeah.
You had a conversation with someone about that recently. I don't remember who.
Help me.
It was on the phone. Someone else was scaling.
You can come in. Who was I talking to about with that?
Luke Scott.
Might have been Luke Scott. Shoot. I'm trying to remember the whole thing there. Come on in, Levi. You're fine.
But wasn't he hiring someone or something?
Oh, he was talking about hiring. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. He was talking about hiring a designer and or a salesperson more so. And And that was an interesting conversation because he was worried about missing out on little jobs that he's really good at going and closing on and stuff like that. And eventually we got to talking. I was like, well, do you really want those little jobs though? They only equated to like 60 grand a year worth of, like $32,000 jobs. And it's like, do you really want to deal with all those logistics of those little jobs? Or do you want to focus on larger size projects from here on, not have to deal with all that little stuff? And that was kind of the thing of like what direction we go with your company. And then ultimately you can still go on those little Grandma Herfenerbler jobs. That's cool. That's fine. But it really just came down to figuring out what you want your business to look like and what type of work you want to do and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool, really cool. Kevin Comstock, yo, Almonds. Hope you guys are good. We are, Mr. Comstock.
They say, depending on the type of business, you may need to buy the equipment first or hire the people first. We definitely, I think that, I don't know. We could probably start another crew without, you're right, depending on what it is. But
well, that's why when we bought the Ditch Witch SK1550, we kept as much as financially I would have liked to have sold the 750. But we saw that as a perfect opportunity. That 750 is paid for. It's still fairly reliable, even with 1,700 hours. We've got the trailers. We've got the trucks. We've got the people, really. Like, we have a great opportunity to split off and run consecutive projects because we have the loaders to do it now, which is the loaders the guys prefer. Thunderbird. We have the capability to do it. So now we really have all the assets to make sure that happens. So that So we really are in a position to do it. It's just we've got the bottleneck is selling and organizing the work. And what I plan on, this window is driving me nuts. I've got to close that out. So what the bottleneck is with us is like selling and organizing. We've got the wherewithal and the means of production. That's the word I'm looking for. We have the means of production to do it. Now it's just selling and organizing the work. And that's why those $2,000 jobs are killer, because they take as much effort to meet, design, sell, close, organize, logistic, and execute as that $2,000 job takes those 7 steps as the $10,000 job, as the $10,000 or $50,000 job does too. So do you want to do that 10 to 1? Do you want to do that $10,000 5 to 1, that $2,000 job 5 times, in these 7 steps? Or do you want to do the $10,000 job once with these 7 steps of like all that crap? And that's like the worst part of Chad. We are working on taking massive action. I will tell you, Chad, for sure.
Action on?
That's their new thing, talking about taking massive action in their fake guruism, or whatever. I don't. It's the anti-guru gurus. See, that's the thing. They become gurus of anti-guruism.
So you have the capacity to scale equipment-wise. Now it's a matter of hiring, training, and sales.
We need to hire one other person for field, and sales is our bottleneck. Absolutely, ditch the itch. Speaking of somebody has an interesting business model, ditch the itch. You might check them out there. They are specifically marketing at killing poison ivy, which is pretty wild. So that's always really at the end of the day, producing the work is the easy part. That's freaking easy. Anybody can do that. That's why there's so many owner operators. It's the businessmen, the business part of it that's challenging. Like, you have to run the business part if you want to scale, and you can't scale and be in operations. Really, I don't. You just can't. And to Chad's respect, there, you're talking about working on the business and in the business. Well, you've got to work. You've got to work on the business to make it to where you can work in the business, right? And they went on a tirade about working on the business, in the business. So that's like the worst quote ever.
On that one podcast
and
that
I
don't
just
listen to?
Yeah, somebody told me about it. I heard anyways. And so like, while I respectfully disagree with those guys, like, you have to work, on the business so that you can work in it if you want to be in the field. Like, Swihart's a good example of that. Like, He's got some office and some behind the scenes staff that allows him to be in the field all the time. And so he's worked on his business to the point where he can be in the business, right?
But like, I saw Josh.
We're arguing nuance and
right, but I also saw
semantics. But
Josh Sutton, he was talking yesterday. His guys went out with their new steel wrist or whatever it is that he got. But he wants them to go out and learn it so he doesn't have to be on the site all the time, so he can continue growing the company and
100%.
sales and stuff that he wants to do. So
and
your business is your own book. You get to write it. You get to pick your job.
It doesn't, and it doesn't even have to be about scaling the company. It can just be, if I get hurt or my wife is in the hospital or whatever, the company doesn't dismantle when I leave.
Like you don't have to leave the hospital for 5 hours to go dig something out.
Yeah, to go
so
run the tilt rotator because nobody else knows how to. And so that's smart of Josh. And again, you don't have to do those things with the intention of scaling the company, but I do believe you have to make sure whoever's on your staff, be it you're an owner operator and that's it, that crew needs to be pretty freaking competent without you, because there is going to be a time where a parent's going to be sick or there's going to be some horrible thing or a wonderful thing, and you've got to be away from the company. I really believe this wholeheartedly, and I've worked my whole freaking career to have the company to where I don't have to be in the field if I don't want to be or if I can't be. And this was really evident when, thank you, Green Industry Podcast. The studio's really coming together. I still got to kill some sound echo stuff, but that's another conversation. The glare and that god awful, that outlet's so atrocious. But when my dad was sick with cancer and I didn't have to be in the field while that was going on, and the company still, and we were in the rebuilding stages, so it was pretty rough.
Which the company was one other person, by the way.
Well, but that was by design. I was doing that by design for many reasons. I didn't foresee my dad having cancer and having to be away from the company for so long, but it limped along.
But that was thank God. That's when the company actually crashed, and so we were kind of at rock bottom at that point. Maybe.
Are those 2K jobs a one-day job? Maybe just charge a premium. Yeah, and we do. I don't think we can hardly look at a 2K job for under $3,500, because again, all that 7 steps of logistics, which that sounds like a freaking podcast title there alone, so I need to make a note of that.
Have you ever thought about approaching another hardscape company and acquiring them?
No, there's no value.
I don't know that I want anyone else's problems.
No, the problem with hardscape companies, 90% of them have been built and run to an effect where they are absolutely unsellable, unless it's a huge company like Creative Hardscapes out in Colorado. Run by Frank Gandora. Those kind of there are some hardscape companies that are actually run in a manner that they're purchasable and actually have inherent value. Most of them aren't, because they haven't been built to a point where they're actually sellable, where they have an actual book of business, where they actually have systems and orders, and the crews aren't just running at the day-to-day helm of the owner operator. So
a lot of the time you just have your used equipment, your used trucks, and your phone number to sell. That's
about it. So I wouldn't be building a hardscape company. It is hard to build a hardscape company or any non-recurring income business.
Non-service.
Yeah, right. Non-service based business so installation business, let's put it that way. That's a tough business to build to be sellable. It's doable, and we're working our way to that point, although I don't ever have any intentions of selling. But I do want a company that is fairly autonomous, so we can keep doing a lot of cool stuff, and I can get out in the field when I want to or need to, and keep going. But that way, the whole thing isn't hinging on me and her.
Is it true a tilt rotator is a surefire way to get to heaven? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you don't enter heaven by works alone. So I don't know the tilt rotator. If it were, buddy, I'll tell you right there, it would be your surefire way into heaven. If heaven's access was based off your earthly works alone, but it is not, unfortunately. The only way to heaven is belief in the Lord Jesus Christ, that He and died on the cross for you.
Ditchy says, I more or less was thinking acquiring them for the people.
I went on this entire rant. And Ditch Itch, that is a great point. Now, the problem is with that concept is, while I love that idea, you had better be a good people person, because their company culture to your company culture may not mash at all. And so while they may be cool with like, oh, Bob's late 5 minutes every freaking day, at Auman, that's not acceptable. And so like there's going to be a culture clash there, right? Or hey, you name the policy, right? So you better be good at managing people and managing these new dynamics when you bring these new people on board. And you had better actually be a better company to work for, because they're going to be pretty comfortable if they're long-term employees. They're going to be very comfortable where they're at. And you come in and uproot that whole world with new policies and new structure and new everything. That's going to be you're going to lose those people ultimately. So you had better be a better people person, and you better actually have a better business than who you bought. Or, well, yeah, it would be that way. Or the caveat to that is if they're a better business than you had better be willing to change to that better business model. So it's not the people changing, it's you changing.
That's a lot of change.
Man, I'm telling you, that's tough.
We had something exciting happen yesterday.
CC Hardscaper, by the way, killer podcast with them here on the Kid Contractor Podcast launched this week. Those guys do some amazing stuff. What are we launching?
I'm not launching anything. We had something exciting happen yesterday.
What?
We had customers come through our front door here.
That was interesting. That was an interesting dynamic.
I had like a plate of food for lunch, and I was walking out of the kitchen, and there's just this random couple standing in the door, and I was like, can we help you? And they wanted to talk about a project. Never had anyone stop by to talk about a project and come through the door. So that was weird and exciting because we didn't have a process for that. And we both kind of looked at each other like, I guess we'll take you into the conference room. So it was cool. I don't know how much of that we'll get. We asked them where they found us.
I think you'll be surprised how much of that actually comes in the door, especially when we get signage out there. But
they said that they looked us up on Google, or they just Googled Central Ohio Landscaper or something, and we came up relatively close to where they lived, and they figured they just stopped by. So that was weird but exciting. And I was able, a long time ago I storied about, I don't have any in here. Instead of handing out like a product catalog, I printed out like sheets of paper, product spec sheets essentially. And the front of it is like a nice big picture of like Beacon Hill or Copthorne or whatever. And then if you flip it over and it shows the colors of it and the different sizes that you can get. So I'm trying to give those to people as to like whatever their project is, so I don't overwhelm them with the catalog or give them pavers that are like just because the catalog has every paver for every budget. But if I give them specifically is within their budget, so say they have a $10,000 budget, you're probably not going to get an Arcana patio, but you could get a Beacon Hill patio, or
Arcana being a very, very fancy paver,
right?
And Beacon Hill being a high quality, nice finish,
Umbriano or something like that.
Again, very high finish, high quality finish.
So that was one thing. So I was able to give them that, and I had to take up our business cards. Thank goodness those made it over from the other house or from the other office. But
now we know we need to have an actual policy for such a thing and what we do.
Ready to go.
Yeah, and if we're not here and someone else is here to represent the company, which we need to have a meeting about actually. So I knew after yesterday, it's like, okay, you and I need to have a policy of what we do with these folks when they come here. One of them is like, okay, well, I guess we'll go in the conference room and talk in there.
Your office is not suitable.
And then followed by, yeah, that's fair. Well, yeah, that's fair.
Mine is.
And then also, we probably better get to work on our display patio, not because we want to sell stuff. And that's one thing right out the gate. I'm like, all right, well, we're not a nursery dealer.
That was like
and we
the
don't
first thing
sell.
you said before they even
I
got
don't
off the
sell
rug.
stuff out of here. I never, ever want to sell crap out of here unless it's like Hardscape tools. By Probst. You may check out Probst to support it here at the Hardscape Academy. By the way, the next training, February 16th and 17th, we're filling it up. It's going to be awesome. But that also reminds me of an SOP we need here for the guys of like, if we weren't here, what do the guys do if a client comes in? And we probably need to come up with like, the guys are going to ask them, hey, please fill out this visitation form or request.
It'll just be our client interview sheet.
Right. We're going to do it different than that, but yes. So we need to set up an SOP right there for the guys. No, that form is not something the guys can fill out, or the homeowner is going to fill out.
No, the guys can get their name and phone number and write down what it is they want.
True, but I'd rather it be more of a survey or a questionnaire of like, project budget, because the guys don't want to talk about that. That's why they're not in our position. That's why they don't run their own companies. They don't want to deal with that crap.
Okay.
So I think we should come up with a questionnaire.
Well, then we will, and I will be happy to do it.
Darn right you will. See, folks, I'm the visionary. And, crap. Yeah, we got to tell Pat. What do you? Okay. Okay, sorry, folks. We got to keep the content flowing here, Britt. But I'm gonna write that as a note. You want to text Mark and tell him the walls are the west wall's the last thing we're doing. Yeah, sorry, folks. Total chaos and anarchy here as usual. And I lost my pen because this is an important thing. I want to write an SOP for our guys and a form of like, what do you do when a client gets here? So there we go. Now that's a new policy. And with this new place, there's going to be constant, like evolution, right, of trying to figure out like how we handle all these different scenarios. And the best way is like, okay, well, yesterday was a great example. We're going to write an SOP, standard operating procedure on that. And we're going to have like an SOP wall or something of like basic stuff. We also got to get our why wall going. That's another exciting thing here. I want to do a wall in the kitchen, probably of like the why wall. Why is everyone here? The guys aren't here because they love Caleb, and they're not here because they love Auman landscape so much, but they're here to work and provide for their families, right? And so, like, I want to have them bring in your why, bring in a picture of your why, and let's post it on the wall. And that's why we're safe, and that's why we're working hard and doing what we got to do to get home safe and make a paycheck, and take care of our family, right? And so that's something I'm making a note here. SOP, client visit to office, right? So we're going to do that and form. So we're going to come out with a form for that. And then the other thing was, I'm going to make a note here for the why wall here at the shop. And our friends Brex Enterprises out in PA, they have, and this is something else we want to get done, is they got cool photos of their work being performed here in the podcast studio. Coolest install and construction pic, because YouTube says, love videos, man. Huge fan. Well, thank you. Been watching a long time. Thank you. Long story short, 20 years old in business for myself, almost 2 years, trying to grow the smartest way possible. Years in business, 20 years old, trying to grow the smartest way possible. Here's how you grow smart. And this is the cliche advice every guru gives, right? It's Shinga. But it's you got to have good personal skills. So read books on good personal interaction skills, right? Learn how to sell, learn how to be empathetic with your client, and then learn your numbers. That's number 3 or number 2 because I can't count. And then after that, learn the work. You got to be a businessman first, and then learn the work. So I listened to a podcast, Lex Friedman interviewing Mr. Beast, and what he was saying was, to be a good, I listened to this last night when I was in the shower. So timing is perfect. He says, in his opinion, to be a good entrepreneur, all during your work time, you're working on things that make you and your company better. And then in your off time, you're doing things that you enjoy that make you a better business person and a better entrepreneur. Like, you have to be obsessed about it to really be really successful. And whatever successful is, that's a whole nother discussion. But so like, yeah, go out and have some fun, do some fun stuff, but like, don't be spending a lot of time entertaining yourself. Don't be spending a lot of time doing stuff that doesn't have an ROI. And now at the same time, like, family, super important. You got to enjoy life, right? But don't enjoy life at the expense of your future, right? Don't enjoy your youth at the expense of your future, like I did. So like, the real good entrepreneurs are the people obsessed about being entrepreneurs. The good entrepreneurs are not the 9-to-5 employee entrepreneur mindset. Like, Britt and I clock 80 hours every week forever because all we think about is building this thing, right? Or being good entrepreneurs. And it's just an affliction. You can't help it. And that's
a funny thing I saw. Not funny.
A shop dog. I want a shop dog. I want a dog.
I would feel bad leaving the dog at the shop like overnight.
Chad's got a whole
anyways,
whole group of hound pit bulls guarding his place. I love it.
I found there was like a reel on Instagram the other day.
Soy Day Republic of
and I don't know if it was. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Gary Vee or something. But
You're from.
I am from Dominican Republic.
What?
I am from Dominican Republic.
Soy Day, is that's what that means?
I think.
Or they grow soybeans there.
Soybeans, definitely
soybeans.
But they said that.
But hello, Republic.
There's been a whole conversation that you missed on there. So just.
All right, hi.
Okay, so somewhere on Instagram, it was talking about how kids like that are 18 and 19, 20, they say to like enjoy your youth. You don't know what you're doing. Go have fun. Like everyone thinks that you should have fun at that time, but really it's the time where you have no commitments. You have no kids to take care of. Usually you have no big mortgage to take care of. So those are the times that you should be working the hardest. You have the ability to, and you have the physical strength to, and you can stay up until 3:00 in the morning and not pay for it the next day. That's when you should be putting in all your hours. So when you do have a family and you do have fancy cars and fancy houses and everything, it's not this like uphill struggle. Like you're not building your life then because you already built your life before. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Your early 20s, man. It's such,
that's like the party time. That's when everyone's like, oh, I'm free. I think it's like you move out of your house and it's like, I can do whatever I want.
Like at 20 years old, you're asking how to grow the smartest way possible. Like, good for you, Samuel. You're going to freaking kill it, dude. You won't believe where you're at in 5 years. You won't believe where you're at in 10 years. If you keep asking those kind of questions, dude, the sky is the freaking limit, man.
They like the Y wall.
I'll sell you a puppy. Bo, no, thank you. I don't want a puppy. We learned
too small.
We learned the size is the issue. It's the care.
Small, though.
I don't want small dogs. I don't want
I know that's the problem.
Weenie dogs.
But we cannot have a dog, guys. We blew that shot.
I want Zach Turneau's shop dog.
14-year-old dog.
Yeah, I love that dog. I'll take that dog.
Okay.
Steal that dog.
All right. We have to cut it short today.
Aw, this is so fun.
We'll be back next Thursday.
Last chance to get some good questions in or thoughts or comments.
Take 2 more questions.
Soy Day Americano. How about that? I'm from America. Good advice. Completely agree with everything y'all said. Awesome, Samuel. Go crush it, dude.
Best of luck.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So leaving here, I've got, we're actually going to see Jordan Peterson orate or lecture in Detroit tonight. I wanted to go to Cincinnati, a little closer. But we're going up there tonight. That's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to seeing Jordan Peterson lecture up there. I'm really excited about that. Second time now I've seen him lecture. I love that dude. I'm really in there. Kevin Comstock, good to hang with you. I appreciate your time. Anytime folks join in on this, we're gonna.
We are every Thursday.
Yeah, those dogs used for hunting mountain lions and turkey. I met a guy out when we were out in South Dakota.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go live by myself when you're in Montana.
Well, I could join remotely. No, I'll be on a mountain somewhere maybe or whatever. J&B, how you doing? Yeah, whatever. Okay, those dogs. But I ran into a big YouTuber out there, but he retired from YouTube, and I can't remember his hunting.
Retired
channel.
from YouTube is funny.
But yeah, so folks, with that being said,
hold on. Paver driveway base, no room for drainage. How to build base.
You might have to go dense grade on that one. If that's just my 30,000 foot answer, like from the sky. You might have to go dense grade base, which sucks.
That would suck.
That would suck. You might be able to do a partial system. We've done this before on other jobs where like we've done dense grade base in places where we couldn't get the drainage of the subgrade. And then did if you have Starlink, you could live anywhere, and that's true, man. That Starlink stuff's legit. And then we've done traditional dense grade, open graded in areas where we know we can drain it, and then we go dense grade in areas where we can't drain it. There's other options for this kind of stuff, and that's where you might talk to an engineer. Most important skill for selling, people skills, without a doubt, man.
I think listening is probably the most important
which is
skill for
which
selling.
Is the tenet of people skills, listening, being able to listen, right? 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, they say, right?
Insert your information where needed, but listen to what they want first.
2 nostrils
and
1
don't
mouth.
Sell them something they don't. You can push things that they don't ask for.
More smelling.
But so last year Caleb went on a sales call, and I don't know if you didn't listen or you just weren't there or something, But Caleb sent them a proposal for something entirely different than
Which
what they
one was
wanted.
this?
The one we didn't get from the people of the parents that you know. You know, a guy, and we went to his parents' house. Is some like she just wanted like some planting work, and you sold her like a whole. You tried to put like a whole to do.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
So what happened? What did you?
I don't know, but that was
You were there. You went on the call, and she's just like emailed back. She's like, "This isn't anything that we discussed in our meeting."
I would argue it was really.
No, she argued that it wasn't.
And the customer's perception is my reality. Chad, I would be happy to sponsor your family if you move to America, man. That would be crazy. Dude, Canada's so cool. It just sucks they do some stuff so dumb. Like us, by the way, we do some pretty stupid crap here.
Yeah, I don't think we let them over here right now.
Yeah, if you're not all juiced up, which is insane. And again, on behalf of the level-headed, freedom-minded Americans, I apologize for that policy, Canada and anywhere else. Absurd, and I'm embarrassed by it, but whatever. Otherwise, this United States, greatest country on the Americas. Refner, hello. So, folks, I think that's it. We probably better go. Britt and I have got a lot to do today. We got to finish up a lot of work and prep stuff for the company, and then getting ready to go see Peterson lecture tonight. So if you're in Detroit, holler at me. I don't know why, because I don't have time to meet with anyone. But well, if you're going to the lecture, I mean. If
you're specifically going to the lecture.
If you're specifically going to the Jordan Peterson lecture tonight, then we'll talk.
But Caleb says yes, you have to dress up.
This time. Fullerton and I went to one in Florida years ago. We wore T-shirts like a bunch of dopes. Because we also didn't have any dress-up stuff. Yeah, we weren't the classiest folks. Oh, Jason Zulo's here. Hey, Leos,
we will be there. So
we will be at ConX. It's going to be awesome.
Okay, all right. We seriously have to go. All right, have a good day, guys.
Thank you, Ditch Itch. See you, folks. Take care.
Oh,
Godspeed.
No, that's not what I want to do.
Godspeed, God bless, and live, laugh, love. Right, Britt?